Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected, and we are talking about climate change news of the day. Welcome, guys. How are you? Greetings, salutations. Early chatters are in. Man, and my my YouTube is doing something really funny. Anyways, that it was doing on my other channel, and I don't know why. We'll just call it a glitch. We'll call it a glitch. Early chatters on YouTube are in, and we are live on Rockfin, ROKFIN.com. Please come hang out with me on Rockfin. Would love to read your chats on Rockfin, where I have 3,500 followers already, because my subscriber count has been frozen for, over a year, about a year and a half on YouTube, so at least that long. I'm going to make it to 4,000 followers on Rockfin before I make it to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. But that has no actual bearing on how many people are actually watching my videos, because none of the numbers are real. It's all an illusion. Speaking of YouTube, there is a lot of funny business going on YouTube, and I'm going to talk about it today on my neo-realism live stream a little bit later. But Graham Elwood, Convo Couch, Jamal Thomas, and Nico House have all been demonetized, and so that's not good. They're all demonetized for violating policy or whatever that is. We can only assume that they were demonetized because they were saying things that the powers that be didn't want them to say. So, that's what it is. So, the censorship increase has begun. That's why I've talked about it a lot in previous times. It has affected my channel, and I hope that it doesn't affect my channel too much more. But kind of also another reason why I started the other channel is because, I wanted to have another space where I could be even more freewheeling than I am on this one, as far as talking about what's going on. Basil Peterson, techno-fascism, who would have thunk it? Of course. Who would have thunk? Anyways. Let's get into some... Yeah, Loey Appets, I saw your comment from earlier. You said, I just told the guys, Kevin, funny things on YouTube. Well, oh yeah. Well, if you haven't noticed, that's why it's funny when I talk about it and people get in the comment section, they're like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. Everything's fine to me. Okay, well, maybe you don't run a channel. Maybe you don't do a live stream every day. Maybe you don't do broadcasts or uploads every day. Or maybe, you haven't had your comment deleted. So Loey Appets, every single day, comments just mysteriously disappear off my channel. So I don't, and I'm not doing it. Or there are ghost comments. So I'll see that I have 10 comments on my video, and I go to the video to look at the comments, and there's like 4 there. I'm like, where are the other comments? I don't know. They're nowhere. Osama, how did you not know about neorealism? Holy shnikes. Sir. What's been going on? So on neorealism, I try to do a live stream every day at about noon on neorealism. Because some days I just don't have the energy to do 2 live streams, but Last Monkey, indeed, fascism. It's popping up its ugly head everywhere. In the Netherlands, it's okay to let old homeless people rot on the streets while young homeless get help? Okay. That's not good. But anyways, yeah. The yeah, it's it's fascism, it's control of the narrative, it's censorship, all of those things. But all in the name of keeping you safe, and all in the name of pushing back against anything that is anti-establishment is fascism, racism, possible alt-right. You might be you might be a domestic terrorist. You might have agreed with Trump on a couple things. Oh my God. I knew you were bad. I knew you were one of them. Anyways, I will talk about that and much more on neorealism today at noon. So let's get into some climate change news. Oh, first of all, I wanted to thank some of my amazing PayPal supporters over the last year of this channel. So I don't often really, thank the financial supporters and the subscribers. I'm going to do a Patreon thank you guys in the next couple of days. But for people who have been supporting me over the last year on PayPal on the regular, Andy Gratton, Rich Diana, Catherine Calkin, Brian Booker, Andrew Lubbers, Lubolof Johns, Ronald Hess, Kristen Strand, Catherine DeVries, Ted March, Michael Arcana, Had Vollmer, Jude Robinson, Carmen Klug, John Knutson, and Poppy Davis. Thank you, guys. If I left anybody out, I apologize. I will thank the Patreon supporters in a few days. Lowy Appets, I even saw one of my chat posts being removed. I stated that COVID isn't a serious enough disease to vaccinate the world population for. Well, you should have known that one before you even posted it. Yeah, I mean, funny business all the time. I was looking at my views. I'm kind of looking at my channel throughout the day, a couple times a day. Saw I had a certain amount of views on my video, and I refreshed the page, and I had less views. All of a sudden, on the same video. Okay, how does that happen? Anyways, oh, hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about the weirdness. Well, okay, we'll look at this. Tweet from Christopher Cartwright. Hilarious methane map. Hilarious. Interesting choice of words. Methane map over the Southeast Asia on February 3rd, 2021. Net zero with 1 more billion people coming. Yeah, check over water, so much methane. He says such much methane. It's a lot of methane. That is a shit ton of methane. There you go. Moving on to this, and this is what I wanted to talk about just a little bit today. This is not going to be a super long video, guys, but Go Green, great tweet. I really liked this tweet from Go Green. They should spend their billions, in trying to save our planet instead of flying into orbit and watching a dying Earth. How true indeed. He's retweeting the world's first all-civilian mission to space. Let's listen to this, guys. It's so exciting.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
This fall, Inspiration 4 launches as the first all-civilian mission to space. And you could be on board.
Up above the world so
Visit inspiration4.com for your chance to go to space.
twinkle.
All right. Doesn't that look great, guys? Looks so inviting. I can't wait to get to space. There's not a lot of lettuce in space. And golly gee, if you kind of think about it, we already live in space. We have the greatest and most wonderful spaceship ever built. It's magical. Voltaire said it best when he wrote, "Tend your own garden." We can't manage ourselves here, so why would that look like success out there? I think Ray Bradbury wrote something about that as well. Now might be a good time to develop some species awareness. Species awareness outside of the power brokers that have shaped our history over the last few hundred years. To all the great resetters out there, the road forward can't look like humans doing what they've always done. Even more importantly, the controllers can't be in control. We must be in control, but also of ourselves. Unfortunately, we are way out over the precipice of overshoot. The future looks bleak unless we can cultivate our own gardens somewhere. Unless we can build a space for people to be human again, not half humans, half robots, not tech-addicted animals, and not industrial civilization-addicted animals, but human animals. Unless we can value knowledge, understanding, and communication. How do we end this doomed space mission we're on? I have no clue. I have no clue other than to continue talking about it. But good tweet from Go Green. Basil Peterson, but Whitey on the moon. Last Monkey, but there's diamond asteroids. We'll be rich. Jay Thadcast says, sorry, 8 billion doesn't unwind without a world of hurt. Never mind the climates. Lance Rebo, they trick people into thinking green is good when in reality the green today was red last year and so on. Creative experiments, but you vegans don't mind killing humans with Teslas while I got rid of my car. Ooh, zap. Zap. And a good one. Hello, Rockfin people. Kevin Shanholzer says those maps show the CH4 over Gulf of Mexico. Okay. Kevin Shanholzer also says your view count goes down because YT subtracts the Russian bots. Mark Bevis is on Rockfin. Hello, Mark Bevis. Is that what that showed? My bad. I don't know why he... Mark Bevis says, so, this is Rockfin. Hello, welcome, yes. Oh, Sultan Bev. Okay, otherwise known as Sultan Bev. Kevin Shanholzer says, sorry, Mr. Sandblum, I disagree. Shutting people down is better than dialogue. Are you being funny? I must say that's humor. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe you are being totally serious. Hold on, let's look at this again. That's not the Gulf of Mexico, yo. Or is it? This looks like Australia right here. It's hard to see because there's like a lot of methane and a lot of like drawing and stuff. And this looks like India, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so that's not the Gulf of Mexico. That's Southeast Asia. Unless you think this is Florida. That's not Florida. Anyways. Just clearing that up for you. Oh, you guys couldn't see that here. Sorry. That's wrong. That's mean. This is Australia here. This is not Florida. This looks like Japan up here. Yeah, this is not Gulf of Mexico. Man, I had a good, hold on one second. I got to load something because I forgot to do it earlier. Hold on one second, guys. My bad. But you'll be able to see this in a second, I think. Here we go. Q. Good comment from Al Stewart, which I screenshotted, and we'll put it up here. Hold on, I got to make sure this is on both. Both channels. Excuse the messiness of my operation. Anyways, Al Stewart says, I'm operating a snowplow this winter in one of the mountain passes here in BC, Canada. Currently, the snowpack is at half of historical averages, and temperatures 10 C above normal. The headwaters of the westerly and easterly flowing rivers up here both have open sections that should be completely frozen over with 2 to 3 feet of ice. Yesterday, we had to open up drainage holes in the snowbanks on the side of the highway to drain the pools of water that were forming from melting snow. It is early February. T-shirt weather in the Cascade Mountains in February. What's not to like about that? Did y'all see that? Yeah, some on the ground reporting in the comment section, which I always really like. I always really like that. And so, yeah, that's what's happening in the north, in the northy north. Well, he was saying it was due to agriculture, the methane. Perhaps. He was saying it was due to agriculture. Basil Peterson says we are still getting lake effect snow because the Great Lakes are not frozen, and which they should be at this time of year, right? I'm guessing. So yeah, the anomalies continue, the weather anomalies. The weather is not right. The weather is not real, as in what it should be. And yeah. Oh, Kevin Shanholzer said I said never show the Gulf. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Sorry about that. You said they never show the Gulf. All right, my apologies. My apologies. Shanholzer says it snowed for 3 days here straight, but only amounted to 7 inches, Maryland. All right, lastly, guys, I'm going to move on to this that I believe was tweeted out by, I believe, Greta. Tweeted this out. I might be wrong. Top climate scientist warns Prime Minister over contemptuous Cumbria coal mine plan. Exclusive. James Hansen calls on Johnson to stop support for fossil fuels in letter ahead of the UN climate summit. That bad old Boris Johnson. Is he going to call out Joe Biden? I was wondering. I mean, this is fine. This is good. This is what James Hansen should be doing. This is what he should be spending his life and his time and his energy and efforts doing. Absolutely this thing exactly. I was just wondering if he was going to call out Joe Biden for continuing to support fossil fuels while telling people he was going to do something about climate change. Or does he only call out right-wing leaders? Is it only the conservatives that he calls out? I wonder. Boris Johnson's decision to press ahead with the new coal mine in Cumbria shows contemptuous disregard for the future of young people and will lead to ignominy and humiliation, one of the world's foremost climate voices has warned. In a stark message to the Prime Minister ahead of the UN COP26 climate summit later this year in Glasgow. Hansen, the former NASA scientist who has been called the godfather of climate change, the godfather, has written to the UK Prime Minister calling on him to stop all support for fossil fuels and earn a special place in history for tackling climate crisis. Good job, James. Look, James Hansen, good job. This is exactly what you should be doing. Urging leaders to do the right thing, always. Even when you think that they don't. Go ahead and put that earworm in there and let them roll it around. They possibly might react in a positive way. He wrote, in leading the UK as host to the COP, you have a chance to change the course of our climate trajectory, or you can stick with business as usual, almost as usual, and be vilified in the streets of Glasgow, London, and around the world. Pointing to the recent decision to allow the UK's first new deep coal mine for 3 decades, well, that's not good. Hansen went on, it would be easy to achieve this latter ignominy and humiliation. Just continue with the plan to open a new coal mine in Cumbria and continue to invest funds of the British public in fossil fuel projects overseas in contemptuous disregard of the future of young people and nature. Hansen is one of the most respected figures in global climate science. As an expert at NASA, he testified to the U.S. Congress in 1988, that was a while ago, including then Senators Joe Biden and John Kerry, of the dangers of climate change. That landmark warning helped pave the way to the 1992 UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, parent treaty to the 2015 Paris Accord. Hansen's letter to Johnson is copied to Kerry, now special climate envoy to Biden, who has made climate action a top priority for his presidency. And then they just approved a bunch of drilling permits right after that. But here you guys go. And who will hold a global climate summit on April 22nd as a precursor to COP26 scheduled for November. Tim Crossland, director of the climate litigation charity Plan B, said, since the U.S. election, there's a new dynamic in play. Okay, we're going to be watching. We're watching this new dynamic. We're going to see how dynamic it really is. Boris Johnson can no longer get away with his climate hypocrisy, talking the talk of climate leadership while opening a new coal mine and permitting ongoing financial support for fossil fuel interests in the UK and around the world. again, correct summation of what's happening. However, you need to apply this to almost every government of the planet. Almost every government of the planet would be guilty of exactly this kind of hypocrisy. If he does, it's clear that there will be no way back for him with the new U.S. administration. Oh, I see. Oh, we're going to deem people very bad people and climate terrorists, even while we're terrorizing the planet with our military and our climate terrorism. That'll be interesting. We must trust he has the political pragmatism to act on Dr. Hansen's warning. Alrighty, this is somewhat good and also somewhat. We're going to be keeping an eye. I am going to be keeping an eye on this story and about the continuing claims of the U.S. the new U.S. presidential administration to really, not be hypocritical about their role in climate change as well. We're going to see if there's a new sheriff in town or not. Young people in particular would feel betrayed, he warned. That's why I'm trying to encourage Johnson to think this through. He is really going to get hammered, but he could be heroic if he would just point the way to a path that could work. Companies profiting from fossil fuels must be faced down, according to Hansen. What about companies profiting from lithium mining? Or profiting, period, adding lots and lots of emissions and basically trash into the environment. Anyways, we'll see. Kwasi Kwarteng, business secretary, told MPs who questioned the Cumbrian decision that the mine should be allowed because it would provide coking coal, which was needed for industrial processes, such as making steel, rather than coal for power generation. Yeah. What about that steel? How are you going to make the steel? How are you going to make all the electric cars, I wonder? Is that all going to be a super green process? I wonder. Hansen rejected this argument. We have to replace the old ways of doing things. There are alternatives. He said this is possible and we have to do it because science tells us we can't continue business as usual. All right. Fine. We'll give this article a C. Maybe a B- or C. And we'll give this message by James Hansen a C as well. Any mention of degrowing our economy, backing down the ladder of capitalism, regreening, rewilding, reimagining our society in a way that we could live in better harmony with the planet other than, well, let's stop supporting fossil fuels and make renewables the choice. OWASF says CO2 is making us dumber than might be good for the environment. Indeed it is. What's up, Bear Support? How you doing? Good to see you. Everybody say hello to Bear Support. And thank him for his contribution to this live stream. I thank you. Lance Rebo says degrowth equals extinction of humanity. Well, I mean, extinction of humanity would be degrowth. But that's not the way I mean it. I think, you know what I'm saying. Rudol Zavedno says we're at 540 CO2 equivalent. Gamma over. It's pretty bad, looking pretty bad. G. Demarest says our local cement factory is CO2 neutral, they say. And that is exactly what I'm talking about, G. Demarest. That's exactly what I'm talking about. all this 3-card Monty hocus pocus account, really imaginative accounting that's going to be going on with the net zeroisms. The airport in Dallas, in Houston is carbon neutral. The airport in Houston is carbon neutral. Thought that one up myself. But they still fly airplanes. Yeah. Anyways. Interesting times, right? Creative Experiment says they planted a tree, so they are carbon neutral. There you go. You got to get those offsets going there. You gotta get those. You gotta buy some offsets for your local cement factory, and you're good to go. So, guys, that about wraps it up for me today. Kind of keeping it concise, if you will. Kevin Shanholzer says, I hear Shell and Exxon are CO2 neutral too. Yes, indeed. Poppy Davis says, bye-bye food, lab-grown yumminess in our future. Jay Thadcast, we finally lost 90% of our butterflies and hummingbirds in the past 5 years. Indeed. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave you tomorrow, 1 p.m. start time, guys. We're going to talk to Roger Hallam. And on Saturday, I'm going to try and start this new kind of weekly spotlights from some different people, some followers of the show, people in the field. And we're going to be talking to Michael Campy about Thacker Pass, where there's a protest going on around a lithium mine in Thacker Pass. It's in California-Nevada border. So that will be happening on Saturday. But I will see you guys tomorrow. To my Rockin' people, cheers. Good on you. Also, before I leave, please like and share this video, guys. Please subscribe, because YouTube takes away subscribers every day and they suppress my views. I totally appreciate and survive on the monetary support that people give me on this channel. But I also need algorithmic support, so please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. All right, guys, until next time. I think I got a super chat in here before thanks, Bear Support, for the super chat. Appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.